We're now on to the panel discussion of our domain experts. And we'll be speaking on the agenda that is omnichannel in post-pandemic world, a present reality or a futuristic idea. So for this, I'm calling in my very expert colleague on omnichannel, that is Mr. Sunil. Sunil, hi.
Hi, Anubhav.
Hi. We have on the panel with us Mr. Sabri Shankar from the CEO of Wondersoft, and we have Navin from GreenHonchos. We have Parinay. We have Parinay from Shyplite and Mr. Sachin Agarwal from Bizongo. So, Sunil, if you could give a brief outlook of the entire session agenda and of our esteemed speakers, that'd be awesome.
Definitely, Anubhav. So, hi all. Good afternoon, first of all. And my name is Sunil, and I'm going to be the moderator for this session. And we'll start our first session post-lunch as it's almost 2:45. And the topic for today's session is like omni-channel in a post-pandemic world, present reality or futuristic idea. So like we all know that COVID-19 has fundamentally changed consumer preferences in terms of buying online, leading to brands revisiting their online or omni-channel strategy. The prolonged lockdowns, everyone knows that has dramatically transformed consumer buying behavior while making them more health and socially conscious. And this has already, like the dominance of the e-commerce has strengthened during the pandemic. So brick and mortar stores will not become obsolete anytime soon. It has to get integrated into a hybrid sales model, and the boundaries between the online and offline shopping are being gradually erased. And as per the experts, the organic interconnection of the physical and digital customer experiences will become a post-pandemic new norm. So we have gotten together industry pioneers from the different facets of the omnichannel ecosystem to help you gain insights into if omnichannel is going to be reality or an idea. So we have structured this session in the form of introduction of our esteemed panelists, followed by discussion, and at last, the question and answers from our audiences. So we'll start the introduction round by Mr. Navin from GreenHonchos, followed by Parinay from Shyplite, then Sachin from Bizongo, and Mr. Shankar from Wondersoft. So over to you, Mr. Navin. So would request you to give you a brief introduction.
Sure, Sunil. Thanks for that. I'd like to thank the forum as well as esteemed panelists. Seems to be a good set of discussions so far through the day. Wish you all the same for tomorrow as well. It's a great opportunity for Unicommerce to bring everyone together here at one forum, and hopefully we add value to the attendees here. As introduced, I'm Navin Joshua. I'm the founder director of GreenHonchos. We've been around for quite a while. We are enablers in the D2C commerce space, which now seems to be a big buzzword with the D2C rush. So from technology on the front end of the consumer experience to digital and solutions end to end, we also have a commerce tech platform which is headless called CartMax. So we work with regional, nationalized startup brands and take them on their end-to-end roadmap for D2C scale. Unicommerce is one of our core partners through this journey, and glad to be a part here. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Navin. So, Parinay, I would like to introduce yourself over here.
Yeah. Hi, Sunil.
Hi, Parinay.
Good evening, the entire panel and all attendees in presence. I see we've turned out a strong number today. I am Parinay Itkan, founder and COO for Shyplite. As the name goes, we are a shipping gateway, provide multi-channel fulfillment and logistics services to any business shipper. Excited to be on the panel today. Omni-channel and D2C, as Navin and Sunil mentioned, are buzzwords in the industry right now. I was listening into Ms. Ritu from the previous session. Some sharp insights on the omni-channel. Hope to collaborate more within the session and add value to the attendees today.
True. Thank you, Parinay. We are also very excited to have you on this panel. Mr. Sachin, if you can just introduce yourself.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, kudos to Unicommerce for organizing such a enlightening event for all of the people out there. I'm Sachin. I'm co-founder of BizOnGo. At BizOnGo, what we are building is a B2B e-commerce platform, full stack for custom-made goods. So anything which is which your I mean, which you as a business need, whether it is packaging, textiles, apparels, contract manufactured goods, specialty chemicals, which all go as an input into your manufacturing. We provide a one-stop digitally integrated platform so that you can manage your vendors, your supply chain, and the end-to-end life cycle of your P2P process on completely on a cloud digitally. Yeah, that's what we do. Happy to be part of the session and look forward to the discussion.
Thank you, Sachin. Thank you for the introduction. So, Mr. Shankar, I would like you to introduce yourself over here.
Sure. Thank you, Sunil. Good evening, everybody. Thanks to Unicommerce team for organizing this wonderful event. I am Samari Shankar. I am the CEO of Wondersoft. And at Wondersoft, we focus on addressing the entire needs of the retailer on the offline front, integrating with order management systems like Unicommerce to efficiently execute your omnichannel strategies. We've been into offering retail software for the last 25 years, and I have over 15,000 customers as on date. And we work with retailers of all sizes, from a single store to even 2,000 stores across multiple verticals: apparel, footwear, grocery, electronics, etc. And keenly looking forward to learn as well as share my thoughts today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shankar. So, Mr. Shankar, you being the last one for the introduction, but I would like you to initiate this entire topic because you carry the most experience into this session over here. So, would love to hear your thoughts over here. Like, what do you think? Omnichannel after the pandemic, is it going to be the reality or it's still a futuristic idea?
Oh, absolutely, it is the reality, and I think Ritu from Anita Dongre did share a lot of inputs into it. Let me share from our side of it. I'm going to share more about what we specifically have done to support omnichannel operations. Otherwise, at Wondersoft, we provide retail software and we offer the entire functionality that a current day retailer needs, be it sales, promotion, CRM, WMS, purchases, and so on. So coming to what we do for omnichannel and as it is a reality today. So let me share a couple of areas where we have made a difference. So first is, let me talk about how applications are today in retail. So mostly when it comes to retail stores, people have been using an on-premise software. So where there is data residing at the store and then it needs to synchronize to a central application, and then only it is made available to online channels or through order management systems. So here the focus was more on the offline part, and then very good for the customers who visit the store because it is everything is working totally offline at the store, but not the best for omni-channel operations because we rely a lot on data synchronization. Data has to come in and then only get to know what's happening and so on. This has been the traditional way applications have been working on. This is how we started as well. And then a few years back, as well as not just us, a lot of other solution providers moved on to a complete solution on the cloud. So where it is entirely online. So you have inventory visibility available online. You do endless aisle, you do click and collect, and all that. It is possible because inventory is much more visible, and you don't have a synchronization need there, and then so on. So this was something which was very good, where inventory was visible, customer information was visible, and all that. But the customer experience at the storefront was still not the best. So you were completely dependent on internet, and if it was flaky or it was down, you have a different customer experience that you had to offer in such cases. So again, so this is very good for omni-channel and all this, but not the best for the consumer. So we actually have worked over the years, and we wanted to bring in a balance between the two. Because as such, we started with offline and focuses on offline. So we wanted to have a balance between the two. So we don't want the consumers visiting the stores to suffer, but we still want immediate visibility. So we have brought in something called a thin offline solution, thin offline POS, where everything is still on the cloud except for the consumer-facing functions which work offline. So just to give you an example, I mean, if you have your purchases, you have your receipts, you have your requests, everything is completely online. But when it comes to invoicing the consumer who has walked into the store, you still work offline, and it immediately synchronizes to the central setup. So what happens here is that you don't depend on data synchronization much, and there is no periodical synchronization. It is immediately it is hitting the central system, and because of which you have almost near real-time visibility of inventory as well. So which is what is needed in the current day need. I mean, what is the current day need today? So we have customers like Adidas, Reebok, Indian Terrain, Go Colors, BlackBerry, and all on this thin offline solution. While just to give an example of who uses a completely online solution is somebody who probably has lesser walk-ins and would need the data to be altogether. Like Samsung across their entire 2,000 stores is completely on an online POS. So this thin offline is something very new that we have introduced. And the best part is you can choose to be completely online, or you can choose to be thin offline, or you can switch as well. So that's something which is, helping retailers having complete visibility of what's happening at all the stores. That is one area where I think we can make a difference. The other is that we effectively integrate with solutions. So like for example, integration with Unicommerce or an OMS could be at two different levels, where you still have the store working on two solutions. They receive the orders into the panel, and then they finally push it. I mean, it automatically, the integration pushes into the retail point of sale. So that is a simpler level of integration. But what we have also worked on, and we would prefer that all retailers would use, is a more deeper level of integration where there's only one solution at the storefront. So where they do everything within the point of sale or the retail software, and it is seamlessly integrated with the OMS or even the marketplace. So like, for example, we have done the same with Tata Click, where Adidas franchise stores across the country, they don't use two applications, no toggling between the two. It is much simpler for the store users. It's all one single application and it's integrated. And that's something we have with Unicommerce, and we are building it with other OMS providers as well. So to sum it up, yes, I mean, omnichannel is a reality, and there's no, I mean, the future is already here. And we are equipped to support retailers of all sizes in being successful. Yeah.
Great, Shankar. Great. Thank you for sharing. So, like, I would like to hear from Navin. Navin, like Mr. Shankar takes care of the backend kind of thing, wherein the retail stores and everything and the POS systems all together. And you being expertise into the front end kind of thing, what do you think about whether the omni-channel will be the reality or an idea? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, thanks for that. I'll come in here at this point. I do believe that obviously the backend has to be ready. There are 4 or 5 such critical business points that are bring in between, where when we work on the front end, whether it's customers who actually are the reason why in even international markets, omni-channel is actually a customer experience. In India, omni-channel is a lot about omni-inventory and omni-fulfillment because it is at a stage of being nascent. From a front-end side, I think there is still a lot of confusion between businesses and customers. I'll come to the back-end a little later. About what's the difference between multi-channel, cross-channel, and omni-channel. So it is fairly often interchangeably used. But let's say multi-channel has been forever, 25 years, 35 years. When you went to the Kirana or when you called them and they came back home, we were doing phone shopping and multi-channel forever. Our parents were doing it. So multi-channel has always been there. Then it's evolved to cross-channel, where selected channels, it could be a TV shopping, it could be a phone commerce. So, individual channels of commerce were being used. Whereas multi-channel now is where all your channels are interactively connected and are not competing with each other. So I just wanted to lend a consumer aspect or angle to it. However, I do believe that even within this, there are challenges in terms of businesses assessing their readiness for it. I think a big question is my business omni-channel ready? I think that everyone really wants to know, because like we said, there's a mad rush on D2C. Similarly, omni-channel is another huge buzzword, because clearly exposing more inventory, with a higher sell-through possibility, the opportunity of cheaper logistics or faster fulfillment are all great bonuses for businesses to get injected with in terms of positivism. But, I do feel that, for a business, is their customer engaging with them across multiple channels, first of all. And if it is, then yes, you are closer and probably more ready. We've seen a lot of businesses who even survey their customers that, hey, should we now, go for a mobile app? Or should we now go for more connected commerce devices? And that would be a great, if your share of voice is on that side, then it's a clear readiness. It's not just being messaging savvy, but you're actually omni savvy. The other aspect that Mr. Shankar was all talking about is the supply chain and the inventory visibility across channels for fulfillment across locations. I think a big part of that I'm sure Wondersoft would have also tackled, and Unicommerce always is discussing with clients, is there pricing parity, is there promotions parity across, for us to be able to actually go ahead with omni-channel or store fulfillment. So I think those are clear issues, where I think a lot of us need to begin to consult a lot more and actually give the right advice to our clients, whether our customers are ready or whether their businesses are ready. We obviously have solutions to offer.
True. Navin. Thank you for this, Navin. So, Sachin, we would love to hear from you also, because you also play a very critical role into the e-commerce industry, and your insights or your thoughts will bring a lot over here.
Yeah, no, sure. I think a lot has been covered and said by both Shankar and Navin. I will just add a couple of aspects of the of managing the entire omni-channel process and distribution. While there is a lot to be taken care when you are talking about the downstream distribution, I think at the same time how automated and dynamic your back-end supply chain is, that will be equally critical for you to build a very scalable and integrated system. So I believe along with downstream distribution, the entire back-end supply chain, which sort of ranges from managing your vendors digitally, simplifying the processes and the way of engagement with them, automating your supply chain, where you take an input from your downstream distribution and convert that live into your purchase planning of the material, so that you are very much maintaining lowest amount of inventory and having a very agile supply chain, and at the end having a very robust supply chain financing solution, which can help first you manage your cash flows, and then help at the same time help your vendors to fulfill their working capital requirements. So I think these are the three key components of digital vendor management, supply chain automation, and supply chain financing, which may be forming the backbone of your backend supply chain to support a great scalable downstream omnichannel distribution.
Got it, Sachin. So I truly agree with you. The 3 points that you mentioned over here are very critical for any company to scale or to manage their operations altogether. So now coming last to Parinay. Parinay, if you can just share your thoughts, like what are your thoughts on like omnichannel is the reality or the futuristic idea?
Right. So Sunil, from what I see at the forum right now, omnichannel seems to be a reality only. And I totally resonate with that thought. We've been hearing the term omnichannel for close to 3 years now, 3-4 years. And post-pandemic, it actually has become a reality. No one ever expected, malls to be shut down in overnight, and then how the experience of the consumer and the business at the same time have evolved. I was reading a recent article recently, which mentioned that retailers, be it online, offline, generic retailers, no longer have the luxury of picking and choosing the platform from which they will engage and receive orders. Right.
True.
Now, and before delving deeper into the discussion, we look at, in a general term, omni-channel, multi-channel, we look at it from only the point of view of how the customer interacts with the products or how the customer places the order, and comparing it between offline and online, whereas it also has one other aspect, very important aspect, as Navin mentioned, mobile. So receiving an order from direct website, from your D2C website, from your mobile store, or from a marketplace, or for brick and mortar stores where they have the ability to step in, experience the product. What essentially a business needs to ensure here is the consumer experience across all these channels is kept standard, is at par. This is the first aspect of omni-channel. Now, where we as an organization would probably come in is the second aspect, which is how the shipment is being how the order is being fulfilled. There's an omni-channel space there as well. For anyone who's so let's say I as a business would dispatch from a single point, right, from a single warehouse. But if I'm dispatching from multiple warehouses, including fulfillment centers, to my distribution network, that is also omni-channel fulfillment. Adding the part omni-channel fulfillment to this. Now, let's say if I have a store also. So classifying, there are 3 types of fulfillment that can be achieved, right? One would be a direct from a warehouse, from basically a single warehouse, a master warehouse kind of thing. Then probably a fulfillment center, then the in-store. Now the challenge presented here and what we're trying to discuss, as Navin said, we're already able. What needs to be done is that the message we sent across is bring all these 3 or 4 heads of the consumer experience and the 3 heads of the business's experience together, integrate and seamlessly, as Shankar mentioned, the seamless flow of information that has to be established for the experience to be stellar for the consumer. End of the day, it is all about the consumer's experience. The 21st century customer is now expecting the product delivered whenever they want and however they want, right? And with omnichannel, the advent of shipping speeds has become even more important in the industry. Talking purely about shipping now, the advent of shipping speed has become even more important. So, let's say, considering an omnichannel business would always want to have multiple shipping options, and that is where we step in primarily, in terms of probably same-day shipping or hyperlocal shipping or express shipping to be sorted. And I think this is what we solved by integrating with Unicommerce also. A single shipping gateway. Unicommerce is not a processing and inventory management gateway. GreenHonchos is centralizes all parts, other aspects, be it marketing, be it digital management. Wondersoft is doing the POS bit, Bizongo is doing the supply chain bit, and this is what we're discussing here. How does the experience get standardized across all platforms, both for the businesses, we being e-commerce enablers. So how do we standardize or bring at par the experience for the business, and then help them impart that experience to their consumers.
Got it, Parinay. Thank you for this. So, this question, I have a few questions over here from the audiences. So, this question is for it can be answered by anyone, but I guess like Navin would be the best person to answer this. Like, how does Omnichannel potentially improve customer experience? Because being the front end over there, like he would be facing a lot of things from the backend people, also from the shipping partners or from the warehouse guys or from the ERP solutions. So, Navin, I just wanted to understand from you, like how does Omnichannel will potentially improve the customer experience?
Yeah, I love the question. I'd love to even share my thoughts on that. I think we're all talking about seamless data flow and transparency across channels. So whether it is from the time a session, a marketing session gets engaged, on, let's say, ad platforms or through all forms of, access to a session, till the time, an actual order is placed. We have worked hard to try and, integrate each aspect or touch point of a customer journey. I think, clearly there are three levels of it. One is reach, the other is engagement, and then is personalization. I think once you're able to go through multiple aspects of that, there is a deeper linking with the consumer to improve their intent to purchase. So from a customer experience or from a conversion standpoint, customer experience obviously improves conversion capabilities and vice versa. I think from an omnichannel perspective, just the fact that there's just better data collection from all the devices through which the customer is connected. For us, then once there is a, entry into the funnel, as we call it, whether it's device IDs, whether it's abandonment carts, or whether it is a social media referral, all these are touch points that come along with a sense of interests or behaviors, which is where we believe that once you have that better captured, then your chances of improving the experience and showcasing a better offering becomes much more useful. So that would be one area in terms of better data collection. I do believe, in many ways, marketing does better when customers are segmented better and we are able to showcase what they want. So, talk about cross-selling, talk about upselling, talk about complementary purchases, or pushing an offer intents, at either the exit funnels. I think those are all great opportunities to engage with the consumer. And you would see that the consumer also has a very positive response to a personalized, outreach. So I do believe, therefore, businesses are working hard to engage with customers because we all know that in the e-commerce space, almost all the any sign of profitability is probably in the customer lifetime value or the repeat purchase engagement. I also believe that brands are not, customers are not only looking for, sale-based or purchase-based, offerings. They're also looking to understand the brands better. So, I think depending on which, and the data collection, which touch point we actually attack them with, and what communication journey we are able to take with them is something that customers respond to very well in terms of good cross-channel marketing. So, those would be three. I would like to add a fourth point from a consumer standpoint. I do believe that apart from having an omni-channel offering, there's also the concept of omni-channel marketing, that especially if you're able to move customers from a channel to the other, not literally move them, we end up having much better, metrics, ROI metrics in the funnel. We're all kind of familiar with these terms like CPC, CTR, CTAs, all of that. I believe that a higher engaged and better personalized and targeted customer responds much better to deliver marketing ROIs So it becomes like you see that the bounce rates are lower, the average time spent on site is higher. You're able to even engage in repeat customer email and other such forms of high engagement that also have high conversion. So it's a two-way benefit for businesses and consumers. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Sure, definitely, Navin. Like you answered it very well. So it was about Navin over there. So from the front end kind of thing. So Parinay, I have a question for you, being the last mile kind of thing or the shipping partners over there. So what do you think are the shipping or the delivery expectations in the omnichannel world?
Right. Just to add on to what Navin was saying earlier, before answering the question, Sunil, on the omni-channel marketing front, never for all businesses, never miss an opportunity to engage the customer throughout the buying life cycle. That is very important.
Yeah.
On the shipping front, Sunil, as I was talking about earlier, it's very important to first of all keep the customer engaged through in the shipping journey as well. So there are parts of the journey. One is the order journey, one is the brand journey. Obviously, when they're getting to know the brand, then there's the order journey when they're placing the order. But then there's the shipping journey when the product is actually being delivered to them. And we'll talk about not in store, but journey wherein it is being delivered to their doorstep. Especially post pandemic, they're not stepping out, right? Would like to take an example of an existing customer who is actually doing this omni-channel shipping with us. What they've essentially done, Sunil, is they've got close to 35 outlets across the country. I will not name them for obvious privacy issues. I do not have a clarity, a go ahead from them on to name them. But so they're in the shoe category, the footwear category. So they've got close to 35 plus stores across the country. They're receiving all orders online only, but dispatching it in a manner as to reduce the transit delays or transit times overall. So even though there is one source of receiving the order, the dispatch is happening in a multi-channel, in an omni-channel kind of funda, wherein it is state-level dispatches, city-level dispatches, and so essentially we're trying to offer them same-day and next-day shipping by reducing the transit times. And there are rampant lockdowns and police and government restrictions now. So dispatches take a lot more time than usual. Plus, hyperlocal is one thing that is being looked at very aggressively in the logistics space. But what we realize is the customer expects a low cost or a preferable free shipping, and those hyperlocal and on demand and low cost does not gel together. But what should be done is to reduce shipping hassles is have very set processes with the logistics partners. And if you're an omni-channel in the pure sense, offline and online both, always have a backup in terms of if store cannot fulfill your order, have the express option to deliver it from the central warehouse or the regional warehouse, wherein the customer experience which does not go down again, so there are multiple kinds of shipping expectations in the omnichannel world today from the customer extent. When they order online and they pick up in store, or they order online and we deliver at a store where they can collect later because it's not available at a nearby store right now. Ordering online, delivering at a doorstep, and most essential piece would be here's the return shipping. So what typically happens, what we've seen with a lot of clients, wherein returns are a hassle, and especially in apparels and accessories, returns are higher compared. So instead of having a central return warehouse, if they could split the return cycle, reduce tax, and increase so most organizations, smaller, not the bigger ones, most SMEs, D2Cs, they refund the money when the product reaches them. They've done the QC. that takes 7 days, 5 days. But what if I am in Delhi and I could return the product to somewhere in the NCR region? They could get it picked and delivered it to that NCR region. And instead of it going back to a center warehouse somewhere in Mumbai or Bangalore, my return now could be processed in 2 days instead. So we would be happy to answer any additional following questions on this.
Definitely. I'll come back to you, Parinay, for the additional questions together. Thank you, Parinay, for this. So my next question would be for Sachin. Sachin, there has been a lot of emphasis given to the supply chain management post this COVID. So how does company like Bizongo help and support the business?
Yeah. So, as you mentioned, that the supply chain has become even more critical for everyone post-pandemic era, and the the reality of the broken supply chains is very much visible for not just for small enterprises but even for large and very large enterprises. The way Bizongo helps first the customers in terms of managing their supply chain, as I was mentioning, providing an one-stop integrated end-to-end platform which can take care of the entire supply chain and not just one part of it. So usually, we come across standalone solutions. Someone is doing vendor management, someone is doing procurement, contract management, deliveries, financing, and all of these solutions are very much standalone working, which doesn't provide a tremendous amount of efficiency across the value chain. So what we do at Bizongo, provide you one-stop platform where starting from as simple thing as creating the digital footprint of your vendor, onboarding him on a digital platform, helping him do order management, inventory management, production planning, to automating your supply chain from the supplier's factory to your master warehouse, or your master warehouse to your retail stores, or your multi-channel e-commerce distribution centers, and then also link it with supply chain financing, where we are helping both customers and suppliers bridge that gap between when the customer is receiving the money from their end customer to when suppliers need to purchase the raw material to service the customer. So there is usually a 30 to 120 days type of a gap in that entire life cycle. And how do we? It's important to bridge that gap to provide cash flow cushion and working capital support to both the sides. So all in all, this entire end-to-end supply chain, from vendor management to supply chain automation to supply chain financing, is fulfilled by Bizongo's platform.
Got it. Thank you, Sachin, for this. So there is an audience question over here, the same question which I asked with Mr. Navin. The audience asked, wants the answer from Mr. Shankar. So Mr. Shankar, how do you think Omnichannel potentially improves the customer's experience? If you can share your thoughts, because few of the audience has been asking your thoughts over here.
Right. Okay. So how does the customer have an experience around Omnichannel? So when it comes to, retail store, so as I was sharing earlier, we were talking more of the inventory. And then as Navin pointed out, it is not just the inventory, it is also the promotions and as well as customer history. And if you're able to know what did the customer buy online when the customer is walking into a retail store, and these are the piece of information which actually makes a huge difference for the customer experience. And then, so promotions is a challenge, but making the history of customer purchases available at the offline store, whatever they have bought online on other channels could be made visible if the customer information is also part of the order. So that's where the challenge is. So if it's a D2C side, you obviously have the customer information, and so when a customer walks in, you can know what did they buy at other stores, what did they buy at buy online, and all is completely visible. So that's something which would really add value to the overall offering, and then customer experience is better. But the other part of it, which is the promotions, is still a challenge because, like for example, in our retail POS, we have a promotions engine, which is really, you can work out all kinds of complex promotions at the retail store. But would you be able to do that on your D2C site? Is still something work in progress, as I would say. So yeah, I mean, it is not just the inventory, which is omnichannel. We need to give the customer experience, knowing what they bought and then what you could upsell and so on by having all information together and at the touch points that the customer walks in. I hope that was useful.
Yeah, definitely. You answered it very well over there. So, Mr. Navin, I have another question for you. Like, it's a general question, like everyone wants to know, like, when do you think a brand or a business should decide whether they are ready for a omni-channel kind of concept or they are ready to go ahead with the omni-channel?
Yeah, no, I think, it's been covered a bit here and there, but just as a concise answer, probably in 2 minutes, I'll be happy to address that. As I said earlier, the first thing is for a brand, now since you're asking about a brand's perspective, do their customers actually engage with them through multiple channels? If they don't, then it may not necessarily be the right time. It's not, a winner takes it all, who's first to omni-channel. It's if it is a requirement. And obviously, if from a brand perspective also, the brand also has to be available across multiple channels. So one is the customer connecting through multiple communication channels and the brand having a business that is available across multiple channels. Otherwise, omni will not necessarily get well done. And that's where, how I kind of filter it is saying, some businesses are messaging ready, some are, on the brink of being omni ready, and some are absolutely omni savvy, depending on how their businesses are based out of. The second is, where people like Unicommerce and Wondersoft, etc. come to the picture, which is there a single window of inventory available so that it can be accessed across, in a seamless fashion. So if that supply chain visibility is single window, then yes. If your inventory sits in totally disparate or different systems, then in many ways it's a dream. It has to be, it can only become a reality once you can, look to do that. The third, is I do know of a lot of traditional brands, legacy brands that do a lot of great business, but they knowingly want their offline customer and their online customer to remain separate, their online and their offline collection to remain separate, and their online and offline pricing to remain separate. So if that is on the cards, then omnichannel is not necessarily the right approach. But having said that, I would think that since it is, the way forward, brands will have to begin to adopt that unified strategy for customer acquisition, because the customer is anyway faster in adopting omni-channel communication than a business is in adopting omni-channel retail. So, in many ways, the businesses are playing catch up. The customer's already there. So, the other 2 points that I would talk about is, you might still have unified inventory. You might still have, readiness in terms of your business models and fulfillment capabilities across multiple touch points and pricing, etc. But customer experience, customer service, when a customer calls in to find out about his order from X channel versus Y, is the CRM piece in place, single window, for the consumer to be able to say, okay, fair enough, you must have purchased it here, you must have wanted an exchange here. But I, as a single window, am able to give you a solution of where, I can, be able to assist you. So customer service is another often forgotten space while looking at, this omnichannel. And last but not the least, we talked about, I think Parinay also mentioned about reverse logistics. Our business is ready to, accept in-store orders as returns online and vice versa. And all the billing reconciliation and promotional reconciliation across multiple systems. So I think returns and customer service are where it gets slightly, more detail oriented in trying to solve for it. So those would be the 5 what to watch out for kind of a checklist for businesses or brands. And in most cases, those have been thought through in general, but it's a good, ready reckoner to say where you are in that journey and when you could go full or semi omnichannel.
True, Navin. So truly said, Navin, I totally agree with your point. The first point that you told that the sellers are looking for different channels for buying things over there. So the buyer, sorry. So the sellers should also be present on different channels altogether.
Sure.
And that is when they are ready for the omnichannel kind of
right.
thing.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks for this, Navin. So Parinay, I have a question for you. What do you think? What are the suggestions or the challenges you can see while setting up a logistics business for omni-channel retailers?
Right, great question, Sunil. Thank you for that. So challenges, Sunil, are very obvious. India is a vast geography. So the logistics partner should be able to fulfill most of these pin codes from the point of view of being able to pick up the shipments from multiple stores or multiple warehouses, and then obviously deliver them to multiple regions of the country. Up till 24 months back, the majority orders coming in were from metro cities, whereas the trend is with the high internet penetration, it's really moving towards orders coming in from tier 2, 3, 4, and that is changing. So pan India reach becomes very important when setting up shipping options for omnichannel. As I was talking about earlier, shipping speed and multiple options across multiple shipping options becomes very important to be able to deliver hyper locally, same day, next day. So for example, we are introducing right now a fulfillment center in Bangalore and Mumbai, right? So seller, and in Delhi obviously also. So sellers who are in either of the cities can store their inventory across the country and be able to deliver shipments, the next day or the same day, probably in 24 to 36 hours, instead of making them wait 5-7 days, because there's a huge cost involved in getting the consumer to book an order, right? Navin would have that idea better. 150 rupees easily, 100 rupees on the marketing spend, of course, the order cost.
Yeah.
So we don't want that, So SMEs and D2Cs are not really fighting with the big ones like Amazon or Flipkart, but that is where the customer expectation is being set from, and D2Cs have a task of matching up to those expectations. Guaranteed delivery windows and time definite deliveries, obviously. So I strongly feel that fulfillment is, third party fulfillment is one way wherein these transit delays can be reduced. Then customers, this also, helps them build a very strong brand image after having spent that kind of money in getting that order. This will also reduce, so let's say, for example, this is an example I like to give very generously. I want to buy a shirt, right? And I go to Google and type, let's say, white shirt. I get ads for Amazon. I get ads from the D2C brand I checked out on Facebook, and everyone is targeting. And I go to Amazon, I see the transit time is order in the next 15 minutes, receive it tomorrow. Whereas my D2C brand is telling me he will receive it in 3 to 5 days, and there are COVID protocols which might delay it even further. So this is what we're doing here. This is the teams are continuously, trying to brainstorm and get new ways to get the products delivered in an even faster manner. So the consumer experience, so the consumer does not need to go back to essentially the D2C can, have a higher recall or have a higher reorder ratio. Integrations is very important when looking at a logistics partner. India is a high demand, less supply country when it comes to logistics services. When we talk about the core carriers which are picking the shipments, and that is why there's an entire layer of integrators and companies like us who where we specialize in operations management for the brands, for the business shippers. So integrations with wherein the order flow, as we've been talking a lot about how the order information flows is seamless. The customer always is on top of where his products are, if it's dispatched, if it's the post shipping experience, and in the entire journey, wherein the customer from realizing that the brand exists or seeing the ad for the first time till the end moment, wherein they're satisfied with receiving the shipment, has to be a very fluid journey in terms of flow of communication, or keeping the consumer continuously engaged. These kind of technologically enabled services need, or essentially value-add services need to be kept in mind. It's not just delivering a shipment anymore; it's delivering an experience.
True. Totally agree with you, Parinay. So, in the interest of time, like we have only another 6 minutes left over there. So, this is a question of the audience, and I also personally wanted to ask this from Mr. Shankar. Like Mr. Shankar, like what happens when there is only one unit in stock and there is a sale on e-com site as well as the store at the same time? So, what will happen to that order?
Sorry, could you just repeat that question?
So it is like there is an order coming in, and there is only a 1 unit of stock that is left into the inventory over there. Customer has walked in, and there is a e-com order has also come at the same point of time.
Right. Yeah. So when we talk about omnichannel, these are all practical possibilities.
And, so this was a question that I really wanted to ask you personally also. Not today, I would have called you and asked you.
All right. So if you are able to reduce the delay in the visibility of the inventory onto the channels, then these possibilities are lower. But when it obviously the inventory is not unified, it is not still coming in from one place. So you will obviously have this possibility where only 1 unit, and then there's a customer walking into the store and picked it up while it's still being sold online as well. And that the only way to handle that is through safety stock or buffer stock, as you call it. So which could be either from the POS side, where we could hold the buffer and then only push the rest of the inventory to the OMSs, or it's possible that it is done at the other end as well. So the OMS and they have the safety stock that they build in, so that the chances of this are coming up. So this is basically, you can't have a huge safety stock as well to increase your carrying costs or you're locking up your capital as well. So you need to ensure that it is minimal, and it could be SKU wise as well. So that's the only way you can handle it, unless you have it as an unified inventory where online channels as well as the offline channels picking it up from a single source, which is not the usual case. So safety stock is the way forward.
Got it. Thank you, Mr. Shankar, for answering this question. So, like we are almost left with only 2 minutes over there to wrap up the session. So I would like to thank all of the speakers who have spared their time and shared a very informative and helpful insights here. I think that the audiences who have been listening to us, they will definitely gain some knowledge from us. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Navin, Shankar, Sachin, and Parinay over here. Now,
thank you. Pleasure meeting you all.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for your time. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Always a pleasure.